Hello! I'll move my keyboard out of the way. Hello, 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 welcome. It's Foxx from Model Making Guru here. You knew that because you're all patrons and channel members. Hello, yes, time for more Partwork stuff, which from now on, from last time we did this, by now is default patron only and member only when it's live. It'll be available to everyone else once the stream's finished and they can watch it without being able to take part in the live chat, you know, to the normal people, the regular people. But for you guys, the special patrons and channel members, you get to watch it live and join the live chat. So welcome one and all. I'm just going to double check I've not got too many things running on my PC because it's very noisy. I know what I need to do. There we go. Turn that down. Right, so hopefully you can all see me and hear me okay. Now, thankfully, of course, I don't need to go through all the usual shenanigans and blah when I go through, apart from to say, of course, that this channel and this content is brought to you by not only my patrons and channel members, as you know, but also my get my words out, sponsor, emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Link in the description below. If you're watching this after the fact and you want to be able to watch these Partwork build streams live, go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru or click on the join button underneath any of my videos to become a patron or a channel member, because these Partwork streams will be live only to patrons and members from now on. So welcome. It's Friday. Excuse me, I've got a really bad cough at the minute, so I do apologise if I do a lot of coughing. It's some of the meds I'm on give me a dry throat and I've got a cough, so it's like... So welcome one and all. It's very warm here, but it's not as warm as it was earlier on in the week. But today we are going to be cracking on with some Partworks. But before we get going, let me say hello to the people that are in chat currently. We have Edward Leonard, says hello Edward. He's doing the UBV76. Hello Edward. Candygram, Jeff is in. Hey Jeff, big hugs to you and Edward, and also Paul Lewis, Afternoon Fox, and all in chat. Yes, welcome to you three. Now I don't expect lots of views for these because it's in the afternoon and of course it's only patrons and channel members, and I do find that a lot of people who are patrons and channel members don't get a chance to watch, but I do my best to try and fit these in where I can, so I might try and do some other times. But welcome one and all if you do come along. Now today, if you remember, what I've started doing is I've got a couple of Partworks on the go from Fanhome. There's a link in the description below. They do licensed Partworks like Star Wars and other stuff, Marvel. And I've got two in the works. I've got the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger in 1/8 scale. And I've got this 1/3 scale Iron Man Mark III armour. There's a fine foot. Mark III armour. See, it even lights up, see? Mark III armour, which is 1/3 scale, and I'm doing both of these. And what I'm doing is I'm building them up for a couple of months ago. So basically I'll get 2 or 3 boxes of all the magazines and parts, and then I'll live stream doing the build. Because I was just doing videos each time I got one, but I spent all my time doing Partwork stuff and nothing else. So I figured it's best to just do them all in one go, in one big chunk, because it's kind of enjoyable to do them all in one chunk anyway. So we shall crack on. Now I can't show you it because it's all sort of packed and wrapped in tissue and stuff to protect the paint job, but so far I've built the left and right arm, the head, both feet and the left leg, and now I'm currently on the right leg, for which I have built, and foot of course, and we have parts of the knee joint that I started building in issue 49, I think. We are going to be starting from issue 51. For issue 50 I did the part of the knee then. It's been a couple of months, I've forgotten. So we're going to do, each box has 4 magazines and 4 issues, so we're going to start with box 51 to 54. Now, in this box, there's no freebies in this specific box. Each month you get 4 issues, but in this box we get the 4 magazines. Now, if you've not seen these Partworks before, like I said, there are links in the description below the video. Basically, each month you get 4 issues, 4 lots of parts, and you can slowly build it up. And in this case, we're doing this Iron Man. And of course, as well as all the actual instructions to build it, you get lots and lots of... I know you can't see it because of the exposure. You get lots of lore and background information. In this case, obviously, an Iron Man and not the MCU, the Marvel Universe, Comics Universe, and some of the MCU. That dragon does not look scary at all. That dragon looks like kind of... It reminds me a bit of Slackworm, but green. I kind of like it. Looks like it might be a cool guy to hang around with. But then you get the instructions and you get lots of lore and fluff. In this case, this magazine is all lore and fluff. In the Dodge Charger, you get some history of the Dodge brand and then other stuff in street racing. But on this, you get lots of lore and fluff. Now, I have to admit, not a big fan of the comics. I don't really like Marvel comics at all. Can't stand them. Can't stand Marvel comics. But I love the MCU in the movies. So So yes, so I'm reading through these slowly and learning things as I go along. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the of the actual comics. Let's have a look. Is there a reason Super Chat is greyed out, says Candygram? Yes, this video, because you're patrons and channel members, I am not monetising this while it's a live stream. I demonetise it to turn off the adverts, but it also turns off all the Super Chat and stuff as well. But because you're all channel members and channel patrons, you're all very kind anyway. It's part of me turning off the monetisation so you don't get the adverts and stuff, because I don't want you to be seeing adverts and things when you're actually already, supporting me. So as a little perk, I turn all that off. Does mean, of course, you can't super chat me, but yeah, hey. If you want to do a super chat or anything like that, then once it's a normal video, I'll monetise it as normal, so everybody watches adverts. You can do a thanks. There's a super thanks under the video if you want to, but you don't need to. You're already supporting me. Thank you very much. I've got my water. Might go for a couple of 3 hours. We'll see how long this goes on. Edward says, hi Fox, Jeff, cleaning, so I'll have to listen until I'm done. It's okay, you won't probably see much because of the size of this thing. The camera's a bit further away in case I end up building the whole leg, so you probably won't see much anyway. Paul says, a woman's work is never delegated. Aye, said to Edward. Yes, so I assume Super Chat is greyed out because I've demonetised it. I don't need you guys to see adverts. So we've got 4 issues, and we're building the knee, starting with the knee. Now, bizarrely, in this pack, I did also get this. Premium Base Assembly Guide 3, in which it tells you how to build the premium base. I'm not actually on the premium package. Now, before I go forward as well, disclaimer, so I have to be transparent with this. I am not paying for this partwork. This partwork is being provided to me by Fanhome so that I can build and film it. So a big, massive thank you to the gang at Fanhome. They are providing me this free of charge. I'm not on the premium package, I'm on the regular package, so I get some of the free gifts and I get all the bits, but I don't get the base. So I don't quite know why they've sent me that. I think it's just in there. It says with delivery 3. I've not had delivery 3. I'm not getting the base. I'll keep that just in case. But yeah, so if you were on the premium pack, you'd have some instructions for the base. Anyway, let's crack on. Jeff says, thanks noted. I'll remember this when Super Chat is not greyed out. You're very kind. So you don't need to do Super Chats. You're all patrons anyway. Anyway, let's crack on. So there might be a lot of little things to do in this rather than big things, because Iron Man does seem to be rather than lots of big assembly stages, lots of little tiny things and lots of little bits of busy work to pad out the issues. So it's a bit guilty of that. I can't deny it. It's a bit guilty of busy work. Anyway, let's crack on. Shut up, Fox. We have issue 51. Let's start with. I'm going to move my keyboard over there. Of course, I always have the problem of where to put all this stuff while I'm working on it. So. Downside with these partworks, you end up with a lot of cardboard boxes, lots of boxes. 52, 53, 54, we'll get them. So we've got 51. Let's get the parts for issue 51. Reaching. Put that box there. If you're not familiar with what partworks are, and I'm sure you are, basically you get a magazine with bits to build up a model of whatever it is the subject is. That's the launch, isn't it? And these can be anything from, in this case, licensed stuff. You get things like fighter planes, cars. Cars are a big popular one. 1/8 scale cars, boats, ships, all that kind of stuff. Partworks can even include things like wooden model boats. You get like collections of gemstones and jewels and pebbles and all kinds of. There's all kinds of weird things. But yeah, so I'm doing these. Now, Fanhome is part of D'Agostini, part of the D'Agostini group of companies, and what they do is they specialise specifically in licensed things. So they have things like, they've got this, they've got the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger, they've got the R2-D2 build that Chris over at Gross Models has done a couple of them. He's halfway through a second one. They've got the Knight Rider kit. They've got some Dragon Ball Z collectible figures. Not all of them are assembly partworks. Some of the partworks are just collections, like you collect figures and things like that. So they've got Dragon Ball Z, which I know nothing about, and many other good things. Here's hoping. Now, if you've been following the news, you'll know that Eagle Moss have gone into administration. They're another British partwork company, and sadly they've gone into administration. They've got things like the Enterprise D and the Ecto one from Ghostbusters and the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And I'm hoping it'd be really interesting if somehow D'Agostini were to sort of dive in and acquire all the rights to those, because then they could carry on with them. That'd be great. That'd be Fanhome, that would. Right, so we are building the knee, the right knee. Now I have pre-assembled some parts, so let's get these parts out. I've got these bits there that come with the issue. We've got some screws. We have some LM and IM screws. By the way, that's a bit overexposed, isn't it? Let me. Do I need that light on? No, not really. There you go. That's a bit better. You can see things now. Now I've really not got any idea. It's been ages since I built the left leg. And it's been ages, it's been almost half as long since I actually finished stage 50 and 49, so I've got no idea where I got up to with the knee. We've got this piece here. We've got this little bit on a piece of tape. And I have this. Now the problem with issues 50 and 49 is you end up with like everything loosely put together, which is not ideal, because it just says keep these parts safe, but they're all kind of like not safe, and it all falls apart. So now we need to figure out what the hell I was doing with all of that. So put these to one side. I've got to remember where the hell everything was supposed to be when I just made that all fall apart then. Not sure. Right, so wait, no, I'm confused. I'm supposed to have some adhesive tape in this. Adhesive tape bits. Oh yes, they're behind there. There we go. Panic over. I'm going to take this plaster off because it's getting in the way. I stabbed myself earlier on. There was stabbity while I was working on the Spartan assault tank. And it was bleeding like a stuck pig. Right, so let's put these bits to one side so I won't get them confused. So I need some tweezelators. Now I do apologise if a lot of this is out of shot. Put that down there. If a lot of this is out of shot because, like I said, I had to be selective of where I put the camera, because I know this may get a bit bigger later on. I don't want to be moving the camera around everywhere. So we've got two little bits of tape there, which I'll get out in a second. There we go. Now, the reason I've got this big fluffy towel down, my big Dodo Juice dry hard towel, is because I don't want to scratch the paintwork. It's a beautiful paint job on this. Right, so let's see what it says. Place a piece of double-sided adhesive tape on one side of the washer. This will prevent the washer from moving when it is in position. So we've got two bits of tape on this one strip here. So let's how do we what? Do I need to cut this in half? I'll cut this in half. There we go. Probably makes sense. Right, that's cut in half. That is not a self-healing mat. I've just remembered that. Never mind. So just place one piece of adhesive tape on the washer. Now, it's ages since I did the other leg, so I've actually got no idea what the process is, so I've forgotten it completely. It's been so long. Of course, I don't know which side is the sticky side. I'm going to guess that side. Put one piece of tape on there like that. Doesn't specify a side of the washer, just says on the washer. Remove the white backing paper with the knife, or in my case tweezelators. Yes, I hope you're all well. I hope everyone is well. It's cooled down here nicely now after the excessive temperatures at the start of this week. But we're back to normal. But before we get into all that, and before I get too involved, firstly let me just take a moment, as I always will do on these streams, a moment to thank you all very, very, very deeply. So the adhesive is on the inside, so it's... Wait, what? Yes, thank you all very, very deeply, because without you guys, none of this would exist. I wouldn't be doing this for a living. And if I wasn't doing this for a living, I'd have a job somewhere, which is, you know, not a problem. But it would mean I wouldn't be at home all day, and therefore I wouldn't be able to look after Mama Fox, which is what I do, because she's a million years old. So, big thank you to you. It keeps the channel going, but it also allows me to be at home. So, right. So, place the gear ring. I've got to assemble this stuff now. I'm going to put this. I need a. Hang on. Let me do some common sense. I know me doing common sense. Put that bit in there because I need that. Now, I'm going to have to get issue 49 or 50 out because I can't remember how this all goes together. I honestly can't. Let me go and get that issue. Hang on. 49 and 50, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Come to me, issue 49 and 50. There's 50, there's 49. Always put the latest issues at the top of the pile. It's always a good idea. Right, so I have to go back a couple of issues and reassemble this shizzle because I can't remember. I'll put that in there just in case. There we go. Right, so we did that bit. Okay, that was from issue 48. Was that? So 49B goes on top like that. Big donking great spring goes on there like that. Then there was this bit that went on there like that. That sat on there. Now I know I'm going to have to put some oil in this joint because it's very, very stiff. So I'm not going to do that yet though. So that's how that went. There we go. Good. Then issue 50. What was issue 50? Issue 50 was issue 50 was a little bit laughable. It was basically put these two washers on there. See that washer and that washer there? Put them on there. That was it. That was issue. Literally, take these two washers, put them on there. Issue 50 done. So yeah, you can see some of these are a bit tenuous in the amount of actual things you have to do. But then that's the way Partworks works sometimes. Sometimes you have lots and lots and lots of things to do in each issue. And sometimes you just like put a couple of things in and they leave it there. So we now need to place the gearing 51B. We've got this piece, right? Gearing, God, I've forgotten how all this works. Put the gearing 51B. Okay, that needs to get screwed in place with 2 LM screws. So that goes in there with 2 LM screws. Let me take this thing off first. Just put that there. 2 LM screws. So let me get me LM screws. We have 3 of these. So one of them will be spare. Put that in there. Spare. I've got my screwdriver out. Now, if you are interested in any of these things, I will be using, as you'll see throughout the course of it, my own screwdriver more often than not. Although I will use the one that comes with the kit from time to time. If you have any desire to pick up anything like this screwdriver set, which has got millions of little adapters and it's got the swiveling thing on the end and all, if you want to pick up your own, I've got a few of these in my Amazon store, as I have got also the big fluffy mat and this cutting little screwdriver mat and my screwdriver tied in, all these kind of things I'm going to be using. Also my 3-in-1 oil that I use for things. They are in my Amazon store, so please feel free to use the links in the description below the video if you need to pick any of these up. I'll also get another screwdriver ready, just in case I need it. And if you like keeping your car clean, this floofy towel by Dodo Juice is actually designed for car drying. we used to use them a lot when we were doing detailing, so please feel free. Now these are metal screws into metal, so I will very carefully attach them. I'll also get my bit of oil. I've got a little bit of oil going on. If you've seen this before, you'll know what I do is I dip it into oil, just a tiny amount, just to make it easier for me to get the screw in there. This is a bit too big. Let's go for the manual screwdriver. There it goes better. Just the tiniest amount of oil, just to make things go in a bit better. It makes it, oh, of course having the shakes doesn't help. Yeah, that doesn't help at all. Oh, in you go. This screwdriver is too big. This is craziness. Let me get a smaller screwdriver a bit. Hang on. This is not correct. Kajit is not happy. Right, let's get a smaller bit for me screwdriver. How's that going to fit? Is that going to be better? That's a bit better. Let's go for the smaller one. Let's try that again. Yes, anyway, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. I'm not doing too bad. I realised it was about damn time I did some more of these, because I've got 3 boxes of this to get through. So, yes. So, welcome, welcome. How are you all doing? I hope you're all fine and dandy. I'll have a look at chat in a minute. Don't forget, of course, if you want to catch my attention in chat, of course, Super Chat is turned off because it's not monetized. So just do @ModelMakingGuru, so it puts my name in a little orange square. Then I can see your words then. So that goes there. Then this one. Place the rotating ring 51C over the top, so it's exactly the same setup, which goes up here like that. Apparently. Really? Okay. That goes there. Seems weird. Really supposed to stick out there? Okay. If you insist. So that goes there. Now what I'm going to do here is these are metal pieces and metal ratchets. I'm going to put in the tiniest touch of oil. I'm going to do it now while I've got access to them, so I don't make a mess. I'm going to put in the tiniest touch of oil. Now, I don't need to do this, but you will find these joints are incredibly stiff. Now they need to be slightly stiff to make sure the figure can stand up, but they don't need to be that particularly stiff. So let's just put a tiny touch of oil. I've got a little needle applicator here. Tiniest touch of oil, just put it there. Just a tiny amount, doesn't need to be a lot. And let's just run that around loosely. Just do a bit more on that side. Just almost a molecule, and that's about it. If I put too much on, it's going to work its way out and just make a mess of the whole knee joint. So I don't need to get it everywhere. I just need to make sure it's in there so it can lubricate slightly. Always good to be slightly lubricated. Ask the nurse. Just the tiniest touches. Now I didn't know about this. It doesn't say this anywhere, but it was watching. I heard our good friend Speedy Q8, who's done this part work, and Chris at Grace Models as well, who's done it. They're both filming it. They both said at some point they've had to put a little oil in this to lubricate it. So I just took that as read and did it. It is very, very stiff. And I say it needs to be fairly stiff when you stick them together, because that's the whole point. It's got to support the entire weight of the torso on the knee. But at the same time, you want it to actually be movable. Yeah, otherwise it's a bit restrictive then. There we go. So you do need some 3-in-1 oil. See, told you, naysayers. A lot of people mock me for using oil. It's like, it makes your life easier, man. So that one goes back on there with the spring. Thusly, et voila. Now this one goes on there like that. We put the little plastic washer in there. So this one needs to go like that, you see. Because we're making the knee joint. I don't know if you can see any of that. There we go. I know you're in exactly the wrong place, but I'm sorry. Then we need to place the other one on the top, which is this piece we made in issue 50. There's literally put 2 plastic things on there. That needs to snap over. So that literally goes like that, I think. Wait, no, that's not right. Hang on a minute. Now I'm slightly confused. Why do we have that pointing up when that's going to be... What? 51A fits through 50A circled. 51A fits through... Russ's laws. That needs to sit... Yeah, there we go. So it shows this black part here with this bit sticking up, but then kind of suggests that bit goes like that, which doesn't. But no, this little sticky up tab needs to go into that little bit there. Same as on that one. It's like, yeah, that didn't seem right. Thought it seemed a bit off. So that needs to go on there. I have no memory of doing this the first time, so this might be a bit messy and scruffy. That goes on like that. This can't be right. This does not feel like it's succeeding. I'm not convinced that the mission is a huge success. Something's not working here. That's his next stick. That needs to sit down like that. That needs to sit down like that. Okay. Am I missing something here? I think I am. So then we need to I'll get 2 IM screws ready, because otherwise I'll be fumbling around for screws and it'll probably fall apart. I think it just needs manually pushage. Come out, come out. IM screws. Have I got a slot for IM screws? Yes. Okay. So yeah, don't forget to my chat's stopped. Don't forget to ask anything in chat, by the way, folks. It's open to all. Ask me anything you want. No religion, no politics, of course, but take advantage of having me here and ask me many questions. Questions that delight your knowledge glands, perhaps. That's not wanting to settle down at all. It's not supposed to be that tight, surely. Taking care that the washers 50C stay in place. The 2 halves of the joint. I don't remember it being this much of a faff to get these 2 to stick together. I seem to remember in my last version it went together quite nicely, thank you very much. See, they push down all the way, but they don't when I want them to push down. Try something here. Is that going to fit on there without those? Okay, that fits on perfectly. So put that on there. Put that back on there. So without the springs, they fit fine. It's just very big, strong springs. I don't remember the other one being this feisty, I'll be perfectly honest with you. Let's go around that. I knew doing this on a live stream would be a bad idea. It always is. Always is. Right. So let's put that on again. That goes in there, and that goes in there. Me does not want to go at all. Something somewhere is catching. Ah! Aha! No! Yes! No! Yes! Aha! No! Yes! No! Yes! Maybe. Slightly. There we go. You've just got to be a big boy about it. Push really hard. Right, let's just get this screw in. Metal into metal, so take no prisoners. Make sure that's lined up in there. That's lined up in there. Right, I'll get the next one. My arm is sticking to the magazine. It's most annoying. Put that there. Apologies if this isn't in shot. I'm doing my best, but as you can see, it's quite challenging. Also try not to fill the shot with my arm or elbow or head or anything. There we go. Quite a bit of persuadage. There we don't go. That's not even remotely in. Come on now. You can do better than that. It's only a dirty great big spring. Don't be so delicate. I felt a bit of give there. Aha, here we go. Sweating like a thing at the minute. Because it's warm and because this is I'll tell you what, doing Partworks live on live streams is actually a little bit stressful. I will not lie to you. Ow. I will not lie to you. It can be a bit stressful because you never know whether something's going to go wrong. It's entirely possible that something will go horribly wrong, and you never really know. And it has happened to me before. Or something just becomes really, it's like a simple step, but it becomes really complex and you make a tool of yourself. Like, you know, putting, oh, I don't know, putting wings on an X-wing, for one example, maybe. Right, there we go. Nice and tight. Now that is almost impossible to move. That one doesn't move at all, I don't think, or very much. That is supposed to move, but I don't remember it actually moving at all. Really? Well, it doesn't seem to want to move anymore anyway. Oh, I'm sweating now. Okay, this one, I guess, isn't supposed to move, even though it's got the same kind of joint. But this one, it does move, but you have to really put your effort into it. Oh! That's fine because it's supposed to support the weight of everything anyway. It doesn't show on the diagram this one actually moving, which is interesting. So that's there. I'll try that bigger bit again. Woo! Sweating, sweating. Something is lining up in there, says Chris at Gross Models. Hey Chris, welcome, welcome. What did you learn listening to the podcast yesterday on Sumeria and cuneiform writing, asks Jeff. It wasn't a podcast, it was a couple of books by Irving Finkel, who's chief Assyriologist at the British Museum. I was listening to one of the books. It's an audio, but one of the books was about how the Sumerians, Babylonians, and crikey Riley, Akkadians and such understood matters involving things like ghosts and death and the afterlife, the underworld as they call them. A bit more oil in that, I think, just a little tiny bit more. In fact, no, I'll leave it. It's a nice noise. When it's got a leg on it, it might be easier to actually move. I'll put a little tiny bit more oil. Yeah, so one of them is it's called, what's it called? The First Ghost, I think it's called. That's dealing with the concepts of the afterlife and how that group of people, the Assyrians and Babylonians, dealt with things like ghosts and afterlife and all that kind of stuff, and all the mythology around it. It's fascinating. They just basically accepted ghosts as their part of everyday life, basically. Of course, as we all know, there's no such thing as ghosts, but to them, 3,000 years ago, It's a different story. And it's very interesting. The other audiobook was about the it's about the flood myth, and how the flood myth is not actually a product of the Bible. It's actually much, much older, thousands of years older than that. And the ark and all that kind of stuff. It's, see, I'm bleeding again now. Look, I've got a manly wound. Not that I believe in any of that religious stuff, but yes, it's looking at that myth and how it relates to Babylonian and stuff. Era. That one isn't as interesting, actually, to be perfectly honest. But I need another plaster. Have I got another plaster now? Or... Oh, hello. Ross. Gross Models has become a channel member again for 25 months. Chris, thank you for add a little oil to the teeth, says Chris. I did actually do that before I put it together. I think you hadn't come in at that point. Before you arrived. I thought I had some plasters. I do not have any plasters left. Fie. Fie. And thrice fie. Oh well. I'll just have to suck it up. Like a big girl. Ow. Yes, they have a plaster on it and it was alright, but it pulled it apart. Yes, I put some oil in it just before you came in, I think. Before all that goodness. So there we are. That is the knee joint done. Nice and tight. Too much oil, says Chris. Yeah, it probably is. But never mind. Hey, if he can't stand up straight, then I'll just not have him standing up straight. Stability plus hilarity for viewers worldwide, says Jeff. Yeah, unfortunately the stability was ages ago. I've just reopened it by doing that. I might have to go and get a plaster because I don't want to get blood all over this thing. And it's stinging now. Let me go and see if I've got a plaster. I shall be back in one moment. Hang on. Nope, not a plaster in sight. Fie, fie, and thrice fie. You can bleed on the red bits without any worries. Yeah, there is that. Hey, let's just crack on anyway. Take it apart and try again, says Chris. Yes, no. Yeah, so, like I was saying earlier on, though, you have to hope that either Eagle Moss gets pulled back from the brink. That's issue 51 done, by the way. Oh no, hang on, we've got to put... Either Eagle Moss gets pulled back from the brink by the administrators, which is what they're there to do. Either get it back up and running or sell it off or whatever. Or that somebody takes them on. Now, I did see something on Reddit the other day, and of course there is no verification of this at all. it could just be made up nonsense. But I saw something on Reddit the other day where somebody was saying that they found out who the Chinese manufacturer was that makes all the things for Eagle Moss, all the kits, all the bits. And they were keen to actually find someone to, you know, continue the production of them, take them over and continue the production, because of course they're making these things. They've probably got big stockpiles of them. So yeah, whether that's genuine or not, I don't know. Use super glue on your thumb, Fester approved. Nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right, next up we have issue 52, please. Lots more lore and stuff. Let me just put that lid back on there. Lots more lore about the Iron Man, although it seems to be about Hulk at the moment for some reason. Lots more. We've got the instructions, and then we have some stuff about Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. Yes, interesting now that it is interesting now if you've been watching Ms. Marvel. Interesting now that they're actually making her out to be a mutant, not an inhuman, but a mutant. Which means, are they paving the way for like mutants to come back into the MCU? Because they've never really been in the MCU, in the comics, but not in the MCU. So, right, we need issue 52's parts, which are, I think, that one. Use super glue on your thumb. Yeah, that won't end with him leaving a Ron Man knee stuck to his thumb. No, I'd never have a Ron Man knee stuck to my thumb. I'd stick it to my face. Because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it ineptly. I went to the inept school of gluing things to myself. Which means if I'm going to glue it to myself, I'm going to do it in the most inept way possible. Turns out I didn't need that other adhesive sticker, so never mind. I shall put that adhesive sticker. Have I got a little receptacle for adhesive stickers? No. 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 Okay. I shall put it in the corner. Or on that mat even. Not in the corner at all. I think that's just paper, but I'll put it in there anyway. I've really got no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just wittering, aren't I? Because doing partworks is actually quite stressful, because you never know what's going to happen. Something could go horribly wrong at any minute and end the whole stream. I'd look like a complete spoon. Yep, thank more than normal. Yes, I know. It's not an impossibility. So, caveat emptor. For anybody out there who's doing partworks and also does YouTube, have a good think before you decide to live stream partwork builds. Yeah. Right, so let's see what we've got to do on this one. Oh, there we go. So, we need to take 52A. Now, these aren't metal, these are plastic, but look at that paint finish. This is gorgeous. Beautiful paint finish. It's so nice. It's so close to the metal. That's metal and that's the plastic. Such a good job. Right, so 52A, which is that one. It says RIT on it. And 52C, which is this piece here, says the support connects the two hip joint covers 52A und also B. Ja, das ist richtig. So that needs to go like that. I see. Like that, you'll see. Fix it in place with an LP screw. It only fits in one position. Posizioni. LP screw. I'll take one of them. LP screws, not even on camera, but there's the centre point, Fox. Try and work to that, eh? Yeah, if I was going to glue a Ron Man knee to myself, it'd be to my face, and I'd actually end up gluing a Spitfire to my face just because I'm that inept. Yes, if anybody out there has Audible, I do recommend The First Ghosts by Dr. Irving Finkel. Quite interesting, quite fascinating. I do recommend just watching any video you can find on YouTube of Dr. Irving Finkel as well. He's awesome. He is awesome. Okay, I need to go super tight on there because it's plastic. It's into plastic, so it's not a big problem, and I don't want to break anything. That'll be tight enough, I think. That's on there. The bearing ring 52D goes inside hip joint cover 2. It's been so long since I've done these, I can't remember what happens in this step at all. So that goes in like that, you see. Inserted with a noise, always with a noise. Press the bearing firmly into the slot inside the cover B. The wider tab on the ring is the one that's pushed into the slot. Ah, that is the correct one then. Jolly good. I didn't even realise there was a wider one. Right, so I now need to insert the cap 52F into the bearing 52E and something dark side. Secure it with an IP screw. I've got to be honest, every time it says secure it with an IP screw, I hear that in World of Wayne's voice. I can't help it. Secure it with an IP screw. D. So, yes, anyway, Chris at Gross Models, who is in the chat. Have you had any word from Eagle Moss? Because if you don't know, on Chris's channel, he's doing... sadly, he's doing not only the big, large Enterprise D, but also the Ecto one, and also the DeLorean. So it's a triple whammy for him. So have you had any word from Eagle Moss at all yet, Christopher? Have they said anything? I mean, it might just be, you know, things just carry on as normal, because if you're not in the UK, you won't know, but what administrators do is basically they keep a company running when it's going bankrupt. With the aim of keeping it running so that somebody else can come in and buy the company, and just it'll carry on as it was. Right, that is issue 52 in its entirety. Okay, that was thoroughly challenging. I am challenged. Many people would agree with that. Congratulations to Katie for graduation, Chris. Oh, yes. Congratulations to Katie. I didn't know she graduated, but well done. Thank you for pointing that out, Jeff. I was not aware of such a thing. I am now. So congratulations, Katie. Right, issue 53. I'm all over the place, aren't I? Issue 53. More lore than that. The Ultron Crisis in the comics. Assemblage. And then also Iron Man, the Iron Legion. Now, you see, the Iron Legion to me is a Doctor Who thing. Another Marvel thing was a Doctor Who thing. So it's a different thing to me. Right, so we have issue 53 with 3 whole parts and some screws. 3 whole parts. Right, this was an LP screw. Have I got a little... Yes, I've got a hidey hole for LP. Hang on. Can't be bothered trying to tease that open. I'll just cut it with the knife. There you go. LP screw goes in there. I'm just putting these in my little screw tidy for now. Out of the way. That's an IP screw which goes in there, yes. So I'll put that away. I must stop cutting things on that. It's not actually a cutting mat. It'll just fall apart eventually. So we have, what's the next one? This one. Issue 53. There we go. Put those bits there. I'm not even talking about consistently anything at the minute. I do apologise. It takes a lot of concentration to do these part work, especially like me when you're an idiot. So please do feel free to ask me anything or start conversations. No religion and politics, but anything you can think of to make me talk about is brilliant, because I've got nothing. I ain't got nothing. See, I can't even put that back on the right way. I'm such an idiot. I don't get that. That's just... There we go. Let's have a look. I've heard nothing official and don't really expect to, says Chris. No, probably not. Probably right. Right. The fine thigh. Thigh of the armour consists of several plates. Start by joining the base of the armour, 53A, and the outer plate, 53B. Very nice piece, look at that. Oh, yes. Oh, and then Jeff says, congratulations on to Katie on the 1 year anniversary of her graduation. Because Chris says, thank you, although that one was actually from a year ago. Did I miss something? The ceremony was just delayed because of, well, everything. Oh, right, I've got you. I understand now. Right, so this needs to go on top of here, see, like that, you see? Like that. Maybe not like that. That is that way. That goes... Oh, it is like that. 2 pieces fit together, 3 IP screws. So that goes in there. Am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? What am I... Oh, there we are. Oh, okay, yeah, it's not... I wasn't missing something, I was just doing it wrong. Right, 3 IP screws. Let us get 3... Oh, they're all IP screws, jolly good. I can just get them all out then, can't I? Yay. There we go. IP screws. So 3 of these little puppies will go into place. Then we'll go into place there, there, and there. Okay, jolly good. Gemma asks how Mama Fox is, says Chris. Thank you, Gemma, for asking how Mama Fox is. I will reply and ask, how are you doing? Mama Fox is okay. She's being lazy. She's gone for a snooze. The moment I come and do a live, I'm going for a snooze now then. I'm trying to discourage that because I needed to be up and drinking lots of fluids, but never mind. She's doing all right. She's slowly getting better. She's got a poorly foot at the minute. She banged her foot on the table and it's gone all bruised and she's been hobbling around for the last few days. Don't think it's broken though, but she's all right. She's getting better slowly. She's still a terror. She's absolutely a terror. But you know, take each day as it comes. I've got quite a good routine now though, in that I can I've got a bit of a carrot and stick to get her to do stuff. Like if she doesn't want to get up and I say, right, if you don't get up, then you're not having a beer with your dinner. Because what I do is, she's not supposed to be drinking any alcohol because, you know, stones and stuff. So what I do is she doesn't realise that the bottles of beer that I ordered are all 0 alcohol. They're all alcohol free. So when she's drinking them, she's actually hydrating herself because it's less than 0.2% alcohol, so it's actually hydrating. I'm not alcoholic, so she doesn't realise that. Shh, don't tell her. She thinks she's getting away with something, but she's not really. But she's all right. Right, then we have 53C. Join this piece to the plate that covers the yada yada yada, which I probably shouldn't do yada 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 because it means I'll miss something and mess it up. So that goes in like that. Okay, I can do that. Fix it with 2 IP screws. Now I'm kind of hoping with this this thing today, this stream, that we'll get it all done quite quickly, because unlike with the Dodge where it can be, you know, yeah, when I did the Dodge Charger the other week, I had 12 issues and it took me 3 hours to do all 12 issues. With this one though, you tend to get a lot of quick little bits to do in each issue rather than lots of complicated stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get all this done in like an hour and a half. Okay, I should have put some gloves on because I'm getting finger smear all over it. I will obviously clean it down once it's finished. Right, so that is there. The first phase of the armour that covers the outer thigh is now complete. For some reason I can't help, whenever somebody mentions thighs or outer thighs, it always seems a bit rude to me. I can't not think of it in rude terms. It always seems a bit, you know, it's like the word flesh. It's just, there's no innocent way of saying flesh. It's just, it sounds rude. Right, issue 54. I'm okay, thanks Fox, especially now the weather has cooled. Mama Fox is allowed to be a terror. She certainly is. So I'm struggling as well at the minute because I've got a duff. My left shoulder's really knackered up. I don't know what I've done to it, but it's absolutely knackered. So I'm in a lot of pain quite often, and it's like, ah. So every time she wants a hug, it's like, oh, it really hurts. So yes, Ultimate Origins, the definitive history. This is after Ultimate Iron Man, apparently. probably should read some of the comics, some assembly stuff. And then we have Maya Hansen, Capability and Conscience. Don't like that face. Don't like the eyes. It reminds me of Odo, but it's not a very Iron Man face. It's kind of an Odo face. Quark! And what is that supposed to be? It's not quite the dumbest Iron Man armour I've seen yet. Because if you remember, we saw that last time. We saw some really dumb Iron Man armours. Ooh, not quite sure on that one either. Deep Space Armour. Okay. I kind of like that one, but I also I like the big googly eyes. It's got a bit of weirdness going on to it. Anyway, shut up, folks. Get some building done. Right. We're jumping all over we're getting a right pile of bits here. IP screws. It sounds painful. Yes. Hi Gemma, by the way. Glad to see you in chat. Right, so we've got issue 54, which is... I've just had it in my hand. There it is. Issue 54, where are you? There's an old joke that probably only Americans would get. So we have a couple of screws, some washerings, and a chunky metal bit. Make sure there's nothing left in there. Nope. Nope. So, and we have two of these MP screws, which are mahoosive. Have we got a slot for MP? No. No. Right, two MP screws. I think we'll probably need one of those, but let's find out. And I think this is going to attach to the foot. So, assembling the ankle. We need the foot. The foot of happiness. And just to remind you, it does light up. I suddenly realised the other day that I've not actually got... I can't find my batteries for this, and I can't remember what batteries they are. I'm like, oh crap, what if I need to put a battery in? I can't remember which one it is. Oh. So, I remember this was a little bit fiddly. You'll need the right foot complete instep protector. The ankle joint has two washers, 54B, placed on the two sides of the hole in the lower right leg. So we have... I remember this being fiddly as. So these are placed like that with the square bit at the top. So that goes there. Would have been nice if they gave a bit of tape for this like the other one, but never mind. That goes there. You have to line up the square notch on the top of the washer with the square notch on the metal bit, which is great, except now I've got to somehow try and get this in here without them moving, and it's easier said than done because it's not actually easy. Watch me do this really easily now. Nope, it's going to come out. Okay, that's not so bad. I might survive. Insert the ankle pivot on this side there. I'm actually going to get... No, I'm not going to get away with it. Of course I'm not. I might do. Ooh, I might do. Ooh. May have just pulled this off. First time I did this, it was a pain in the bum. It was a massive ball ache. Place the ankle cover disc, whatever, in that one. There. Oh, we could be onto a winner. Insert one MP screw on the pivot side. I remember when I first accept... Oh, hang on a minute. I've done it the wrong way around, you dingleberry. After all that, that's the wrong way around. Bum cheeks. Let's try that again, shall we? My name's Foxx and I'm an idiot. Right, see if we can get that out again now. No, not coming out now. Come on. Bugger off. Watch this now not come out. Come on. Oh, I was doing so well. The boy done well. And then he didn't. There we go. Right, so that's there. Yeah, the first time I did this, it took me forever to get these plastic things not moving around. and then I couldn't get the screw to fit in, and somehow, for some reason, I had the wrong screw. I don't know what I was doing. Oh no, I had the right. I was trying to screw it from the wrong side because I was being a complete div. It does frustrate me that you get a recess for that washer there, but not on the other side. The other side, you're on your own. Oh. So let's try that again. Get that in. See if we can pull another blinder. What do you reckon? What does the Magic 8 Ball say? Magic 8 Ball says, absolutely. Yeah, oh no. Hang on. Magic 8 Ball says, spinning. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh yes. Much easier than the last time I did this nonsense. So that goes in there. And then we have the MP screw, which is dirty, great big thing. And I've got the whole thing with one hand and the other thing. Yeah, for some reason I had a major problem with this the first time, but this time I'm not. And I can't remember exactly what it was. It turned out it was me, partly me being a dumbass as usual, and doing something incredibly wrong. There we go. That is nice and tight. There we go. That's much better. I was all worried there for no reason because it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I will have to give all these a jolly good clean later though. So we have an ankle. And that concludes issue number, whatever that was, 54. There we go, that's one box complete. And we've been going for an hour, and that half of that was talking. So that's one box complete. Let's move on to the next one. Next one. Get all the bits out. Get your bits out! I was saying before, Chris, before you came in, that for some reason I've been given the some of the instructions to make the base, but I'm not getting the base. I'm not on the premium pack, so I don't quite know why I've got those. I won't. Not a problem. Right. Glad to hear the temperature has cooled down a bit, says Jeff. Absolutely. And don't forget, folks, while I'm here, bench and belly. Bench and belly. What's on your bench? What you're working on right now, and what's in your belly? 55, 56, 57, 58. You know, what's in your belly? What have you had for your dinner, or what are you going to have for your dinner? Right, I've not got enough space anywhere around here to put magazines and everything else. It's all very messy. Right, so we've got issue 55. Ultra Modular Armours. Modular. Why is it something with a tail? Not that I'm complaining. But okay. Stuff about things. Building. That'll be a quick one. Madame Mask. Love behind the mask. I do love it when they have a mask that covers like 1%. Oh no, it's the full face. It looked like it was just covering the eyes up. Excuse me. Quite a lot of blurb in that one. Oh, tickly cough at the back of my throat, making my eyes water. Right, so we've got issue 55. More thigh action. Oh, it just sounds so rude. It sounds so rude. Just the word thigh is just, I don't know. It's 57. 56. I'll tell you what, on the Dodge Charger it says issue 12 or whatever on the top. On this it's this tiny little thing in the corner. I can barely see that with my old man eyes. Excuse me. Right, so as always, as I said at the start, for anybody who's joined us since then, I do have to do, as always, a quick shout out to the guys at Fanhome, guys and girls at fanhome.co.uk or fanhome.com, who are producing this partwork and the Dodge Charger, because they are providing this to me free of charge, gratis, no cost. I am simply making these videos in exchange for receiving the partwork. I have a duty to disclose that, especially when this is no longer a stream and becomes monetized. It will say that on the screen. So big thank you to the people at Fanhome for helping me do this and the charger. I am not receiving any money from them, and of course I am not influenced by them in any way. All my opinions are my own. So we have the interior thigh plate, thigh. Rear thigh plate, thigh. Rear thigh plate. Oh, rear thighs. Ooh. I don't know what it is, just the word thigh. Just sounds rude. So this needs to go on there. There you go. And that's it. that was issue 55. But you see what I mean about some of the issues are a bit, how can we say, Spartan? Yeah, although it's chock full of lore and information if you're interested in the Marvel stuff. So that was issue 55. Let's move on to issue 56. I don't know. Issue 56, I'll whiz through quickly. Against the Invasion War Machine. There we go. I won't pretend to know anything about the characters because I'll probably go off the MCU and I'll be wrong because it'll be different. So, yeah. No, I've never been into the comics. Most of the time, the art style doesn't do me any favours. And like, just that. I mean, that is... I can't tell you how badly that is drawn. Chains, muscles, and huge weapons define Century's appearance, typical of the 90s aesthetic from Forceworks by Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, and Herita Oliveira. I was going to say that might be that looked like it was drawn by by Liefeld at first because of the stupid arm that doesn't actually do what arms are supposed to do in the pouch, but it's not. Rob Liefeld. No. Yeah, see, that's good art. I like that. That's nice. The modern ones nowadays, they're getting really good with their art, but, you know, I don't know. Just Marvel Comics never did anything for me. Never did anything for me. I don't know what screw that was now, so I'm just going to randomly put it in there. There you go. Right, so... I've also never been a big fan of the fact that the women are always dressed evocatively. I mean, okay, the blokes wear skin-tight suits as well, but not always. But women are always a bit gratuitous, let's just leave it at that. 56 we need. 56, there we go, first guess. I'll take all that complex building from issue 55 and just put it over there for a minute. Oh dear. Fanhome, don't change. Issue 56. Do. Bow. Right. Gross Models, so we're going off to play Ark, dinosaur game, so I'm sure Fox will approve, absolutely approve. Anything with dinosaurs, Ark Survival Evolved, is a good game, that. So take care of yourself, Chris and Gemma. Take care. Thank you for coming along and see you soon. Thank you for your support, as always, of course. Candygram says, Bench, trying to get translucent resin to work properly with the resin printer. Belly, soon to be a salad. Oh, what kind of salad? Salad with meats or just salad? Right, so we need to take this. We've got no screws in this, so I'm getting the impression this is going to be push fit. Slot the outer thigh plate. Oh, thighs. Stop thinking about thighs. The outer thigh plate onto the pieces assembled in issue 53. Held on by two posts. Press it gently to fit it securely in place. There we go. That's it. Again, it's another one of them quick ones. Oh well. That's, yeah. You see what I mean about some of these issues? This is why I knew it's probably not going to be a full 3-hour stream, this. I don't know. Issue number 57. I don't know. Right, so issue 57. There we go. What have we got? A new era, the 5 Nightmares. Building. Give me another quick one. Oh no. Evil Stock, 1,000 worlds, 1,000 destinies. I was actually surprised. I can't remember how I stumbled across it the other day, but I had occasion. I think I've been watching some of the MCU movies, and I looked up Nick Fury, and I had a memory from being a kid of having a comic with Nick Fury in it. And I looked it up, and just by pure fluke, you know, when you're looking for, say, a specific image or something on Google, and you don't really know what to search with, you don't know what search terms to use. I managed to find it, and I realised that when I was a kid, I had issue 1 of the first ever issue where Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. appeared. And I was like, oh man, I wish I'd kept that. It's probably worth something now. The one where he's having some, what do they call them? The clones that like go off and do stuff to like pretend to be that person. I can't remember what they're called now. Lifelike thingies, whatever. Anyway, it was really badly drawn and written, but you know, hey, it was classic. Probably worth something now, but all long gone, all long thrown away. 57. I need some more thigh armour. I'm suspecting this will be any screws. No. I would not be surprised if at some point you get an issue where literally you have to do nothing. I mean, so far, simply placing... Oh, I've got some screws. Simply placing 2 washers onto a post is about the minimum I've had so far. So, yes, some IP screws. Let's hopefully get to some screwing this time. Fnar. That's interesting. I wonder why that's got that texture on it. That kind of like quilted texture. It's unusual. Never seen that before. It seems to serve no real purpose. They went to the effort. Jolly good. Right, so we are doing... I'm getting an enormous pile of stuff here now. It's all getting very confusing. Join the inner thigh plate to the interior thigh. Ooh, interior thigh. Place 57A on top of 57B. So it's like that, you see? This is correct, I think. Yes. Fix in place with 2 IP screws. I happen to have 3 IP screws. I happen to have a Jancy cube. Nubian, huh? Anybody out there watching the current run of the Orville? I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I like the Orville anyway, but it really has become like proper Star Trek now. It's like DS9 kind of thing, but on a starship. It's like my DS9 fix. It's so good now. Serious storylines. They've grown up and become more mature, and it's just great. It's like the music, the feel, the writing. It's all DS9 era. I've not really looked at the production details, but I wouldn't be surprised if half the people working on it worked on things like DS9 and stuff, because it's so spot on. And they're not being as comedic now, they're being a bit more serious. Right. Turn the 2 assembled pieces over and fit the first thigh cap marked R1, R2, R1 onto the circular part of the inner thigh plate as shown. It is pressed into place and will only fit in one position. It says there, it says R1 on it. R1, I'm a secret lemonade. Moving on. Only fit in one position. So you've got the the groove there, and you've got this like cowl. So yes, it will only fit on that way. He says not fitting it on that way. The second thigh cap marked R2 fits onto the part assembled in issue 53, which is that one. Like the other cap, it is simply pressed on. Nub, not going to see it. There we go. I don't remember any of this from the last leg. And that's it. Okay. Right. That was issue 57. I don't mind a nice simple build. My shoulder's killing me. I'm really, really hungry. I don't mind simple builds. That's Oh no. Issue 58. We nearly finished the second box in like, what, 10 minutes? 20 minutes. Skrull Attack, the history of an invasion. Lots of people with faces. Everybody's always going which looks great, apart from when you just stood there with a weapon like that and you're like shouty man, like, you know, Wolverine doing it, or, you know, it's like, that makes sense, snicked. Thor looks really stupid. Captain America is going but he's just kind of stood there with a gun going I'm an angry man with a gun and a waistcoat. Yeah, doesn't really work. Anyway, now we've got some leggy bits going on now. Hawkeye, the everyday hero. It does amuse me that the kind of realistic outfits that you get in the TV and movies, yeah, like, that's kind of overly sexualized. It's like, there's no need for all that. It's just overly, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Exploitative, perhaps. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Yes, the outfits you get in the movies and TV, they do make you look at the ones in the comics and kind of go, yeah, it's kind of stupid. Like Hawkeye's outfit is just... If you put an actor in that outfit with the purple and the blue, no. With the big pointy head thing, no. It just looks stupid. I kind of prefer... I think that's probably why I prefer the more grounded TV shows and movies, because they're... I'm not saying more grounded, they're still silly nonsense, but they kind of make it more believable a little bit. Right, so we have issue number 58. There's only one left. Don't need to look for it that hard. We've got all these bits lying around. Salad, whatever vegetation I can find from the refrigerator with diced baked chicken breast. Yeah, there's always meats. Always have meats. That was an MP screw. MP, have we got a slot for MPs? MP, no. Arse. Keep it in the bag then, won't I? Gosh darn it. I've got little sections for each type of screw in my little tidy box. Available in my Amazon store, link description below the video. But unfortunately, I've not got enough for each type of screw. So, yeah. Now, let's get this bit done. Yes, I don't know. I think that's probably why I like the movies and TV shows, the MCU. I never really liked the comics because I was always, when I was of a comic reading age, I was always more into thoughtful, grounded comics and comic books and graphic novels rather than superhero stuff. I was always quite disdainful of superheroes with their silly costumes and over-exaggerated nonsense, and I was like, yeah, this is for kids. However, when I actually sat down and watched the MCU stuff, and I was like, you know what, this is actually really good. Now it's not all silly nonsense. It's actually really good. That looks like looks like it's had some kind of like electric razor in there or something. It's packaging from a fillet or a brawn. Look at that. Solid chunk of metal, that is. It's gorgeous. I love the curve. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, and some screws. 2 MA screws. Have we got a slot for MA screws in the thing? No, I'll have to keep the bag. Oh. Gentlemen, keep the bag. AM screws, there you go. Right, so let's see what we've got to do. 58C is the instep protector, which will rest on top of the boot, which goes in there like that. I remember from the last one. And it was a very weird fit. It tends to sit like a bit up and not very flush for some reason on the other one. It never really wanted to sit. It always wanted to sit a bit like that. Never mind. I do like the fact that the metal and the plastic have a slightly different tint to them. Tone, so it just makes a nice little bit of variation. La 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 la. Place the hinge support hinge. hinge, hinge, screw that in. Okay, so this bit here goes over there. Now interestingly, as a way to pad it out, they've basically said that goes on there, and this basically sits on top like that. Oops, hang on. Sits on top. You can't even see that, can you? Ooh. This basically sits on top of the hinge like that. You put that on there and you put a screw in there. That took them like three different photographs to tell me that. It's like, and then it falls over. Gosh darn it. You had one job. Also a dirty great big nub on there, but it doesn't matter. So that goes on there. Get the screw in there. This is into metal, so I shall oil. Always make sure you're nice and oiled before screwing. It's just basically a little sort of cover that holds the hinge in place. If you've built model trucks and cars, sometimes door hinges use a very similar method. It's nice, and that one actually fits quite flush. The other one wasn't quite as flush as that. There we go, that's quite nice. So that took them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pictures, and that's all we have to do in this issue. Ah, bless them, don't ever change. Don't ever change. There you go. That concludes box 2. Yes, there is a fair bit of padding in this build. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a problem. It's not a problem at all, because you're not like you get one issue a week and you have to wait a week. You know, you get 4 each month, and that's the whole point of these things. They tend to be around about 100 issues or thereabouts. Some are 110, some 100, yeah. But they tend to be at least 100 issues, and sometimes they've got no choice but just to split it up into 100 issues as best they can. And sometimes you'll end up with minimal things to do. Sometimes you'll get a kit that's got so much going on that you don't get that. Now, next up we have issues. 59, 60, 61, 62, but we also have some swag with this one. I'll show you that in a second. You get a bit of swag with this. When you subscribe to these Partworks, you also get like little things like, in this so far I've got like a t-shirt and a baseball cap, and I've got a battery charger, I think, a power pack thing. Was that an AM screw? AM. I think I've got a slot for AM, there we go. And you all get various bits and bobs, but this one is quite nice. This time, I can't remember if we got a power pack, like a battery charger thing. We might not have done, but what we got there, and I didn't even know we got this, because it doesn't say this on the website. You don't get a list of everything you get. We've actually received a Bluetooth speaker, which is so big I can't even get it on screen. Bluetooth speaker in the style of an Iron Man helmet. Now, I can't actually test this for you because I don't have a device with Bluetooth that also happens to have music on it. All my music's on my PC, which has not got Bluetooth. And I'm not about to play copyright music on a YouTube stream because that would be really stupid. If I can get it out for you. Let's get it out. So basically, the box smells like spaghetti. It's quite pleasant. Let's have a look. Basically, it's a dirty, great big Ron Man's helmet. That is a Bluetooth speaker. I won't get it out because I'd have to sit here unpacking it for 10 minutes. It's all tied in. But basically, it USB charged. And let's have a look at the blurb, see what it says. Is there any instructions? Let's have a look. Let's see what it says. I'll look at the box. That'd be easier, wouldn't it? It says, Bluetooth speaker, wirelessly stream audio, powerful sound performance, eyes light up when in use, rechargeable battery. Put it back on screen anyway. Rechargeable battery, contents, Bluetooth speaker and charging cable. There you go. It's a 1:2 scale speaker, so it's slightly bigger, or slightly smaller scale, like I should say, than our current build. It's quite nifty, that. Now, if Speedy Curate was here, he'd be able to tell us what it sounds like. Well, if you've had yours, Chris, is yours any good? I assume it's probably going to be fine. It's just a Bluetooth speaker at the end of the day. It's obviously not going to be stereo, I suspect. But if you say at your workbench and you want to listen to... I think there's a dirty great big speaker on the back there. There you go. I think the idea is if you want to listen to your podcasts and stuff, if I'm listening to my podcasts and things, if my iPad's a bit low on charge, I can just stream it to this puppy. So I'll give it a try. As I've not really got much use for a Bluetooth speaker, but it's rather nifty. I do like it. It's quite heavy as well. I say I can't charge it. I mean, I can't test it right now. Oh, it's quite nifty. That's not a bad gift at all. It's basically a free Bluetooth speaker. You're not going to say no, are you? Stick it on your shelf. Play your tunes or your podcast or whatever through it. It's alright, that. Well done. Very nice. It seems a bit underwhelming just to say, there it is, look at it, it's very nice, there you go. But I can't test it, so... Oh, I kicked the box. I can't test it or anything, so... If you go into the Boom Hut... in fact, yeah, if you go to Speedy Curate's channel, Speedy Curate, who's a Boom Hut member, if you can't find his channel, then just go into the Boom Hut and ask him the question. He did review it. He found it to be quite good. There you go. Says Jeff. Yes, so Speedy Curate's got a review. I mean, I spend all my time listening to my podcast through my iPad. I listen to podcasts and stuff on this while I'm working. So I'm used to listening to stuff through my iPad. So having that instead of the iPad, if my iPad's a bit low on charge, just, maybe stream it from the iPad or from my phone or whatever, because I've got the streaming apps on my phone, so I can stream a podcast to the speaker. That'll do. I would guess it probably sounds better than an iPad speaker, but even an iPad speaker sounds quite good. So yeah, anyway, let's crack on. Final box, issue 59. What time is it? 6:30. We're going to be finished by about 7 o'clock. I can see this coming. 7:30. Issue 59. Model Prime Armour. Don't know what that means. Legacy of Doom highlights in Knights in shining armour. Dr. Doom. We have some silvery bits by the light of the silvery moon. And out of control, who's in charge? See that kind of design. That kind of design. I can't get on with things like that. That kind of silly face. Just no. Oh, it's MODOK, isn't it? I thought I recognised it. MODOK. Yeah, no, that's the old Stan Lee style artwork. I can't get on with that. Yes, I think that's why I like the movies and the TV shows, because they were a bit more grounded to my brain. Now, issue 59. So let's get the bits. It is this one. No, not that one. That's 60. Issue 59. Now you'll see here I've got a silver Uniposca paint pen to hand. That may become apparent. It might not, but it will become apparent why that might be useful. Possibly. Right, so we have... I've got nowhere to put all these bits now. Right, screws. We have 3 IP screws. Let's get those out. I think I've got a slot for IP screws, so just get rid of the bag. I'll put it there so I know what they are. Speedy Curate's YouTube channel is appropriately Speedy Curate for anyone not subscribed. It's a highly informative and recommended channel. If Chris was still here, he could post a link for you, because mods can post links. Sadly, he's not, and he can't. Yes, it's Speedy Curate. So that looks like some kind of like surgical device. So not many parts in this one. Now, let's see how minimal this is going to be. Insert the inner circuit board, 59B, into the inner support, 59A, starting at the wide end and sliding downwards to the narrow end. It fits into the curved section. Like that, you see. Spoon. Done. Once the circuit board is slotted into place, turn the pieces over and fasten them using 2 IP screws. Screw number 1. No oil because he's a plastic. Got a little bit of the shaky shakes going on today again, haven't I? Oops, hello. I'll tell you what though. I've Been put on some blood pressure meds and some other meds, and I've got to tell you, I'm feeling much better and my shakes are much less. Because I've actually had quite high blood pressure, turns out. So I'm on all kinds of pills. And I feel a lot more alive and like lively and less drowsy now, and my shakes are a bit better. Now the wires on this little circuit board, they're like quite simply painted on. They're just little raised sections. And if you're in the mind of painting this up, this will be visible when the back of the leg comes up. You could go to town actually weathering this up, gunking it up, or you could scrape all those off and put your own wires in there if you wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but it's a bit an option. You could muss this up quite nicely. That is issue 59. Okay, there we go, issue 59. All done. Issue 60. Cashier number 4, please. Finally, we start to see a photograph of the actual thing we're making. Movie special issue, Dueling Heroes. Hero against hero. I do like the Iron Man movies. I was quite surprised because I was always so negative about the comics. And one of my friends said, you should watch some of these. This is like, you know, about 4 or 5 years ago. You should watch like some of these movies, the Iron Man and the Avengers and stuff. They're actually really good. And I'm like, no. Just watch them. And I watched them and I was like, you know what? They were awesome. Civil War, whose side are you on? We're talking about Civil War again. Kind of done that already. La 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 la. So there you go. Awesome blurb. Let's get on with the building. I don't really want to dwell on the actual contents of the magazine too much because, you know, you have to kind of bit the part work together. So we've got issue 60, which is this puppy here. Now again, this might be slightly fiddly. It might have been slightly fiddly the first time, but then I thought that about the foot and it wasn't. So we have the screws. Das ist richtig. Come out. Now I don't know what we're having for dinner tonight. No idea. It might be cheese and onion pie and chips. Cheese and onion pie and chips! Depends what Mama Fox wants. Right, so let's do this bit. We've got some of these bits. So final assembly, issue 51, 57. Right, now it all starts to come together. You were matron. Let's put them in there, out of way. Screws, if you choose. So let's put these over there. So we need knee joint that hurt my thumb, fascist. We need that bit. The final assembly from issue 57, yes. And what we do is we do this. We do what now? We do who with what? That goes there like that, you see. Now when I did the other leg, I think I screwed this up because I think I knackered one of the screws. Join the two assemblies using an NP screw and tighten firmly. I seem to remember when I did this the first time, the screw wouldn't go all the way home and didn't really fit very well. Let's hope it's not the case now. So that goes in there like that, and that goes in there like that. Let's do this. Now what amuses me or amazes me really is you've got this sturdy metal knee joint, and yet it's attached into a simple plastic piece, and that simple plastic piece is a screw in a simple plastic shaft. It's like, not sure that's going to be the nominal kind of connection point, because I'm going to be bending this to bend the knee. All of that could easily break. Doesn't seem like an optimal way to do that really. You think this bit would be metal for sturdiness. Sturdiness! Right. Now, take the something or other yada yada yada, this bit here, from issue whichever, and using the power of screwing, take the final assembly, put the assembled knee joint and thigh in position as shown and fix together. Sorry, sniffles. So in that way. doesn't seem right. Hang on. What is going on here? We need to screw this together like that, you see. Let's bend the knee a bit. Let's take the knee. That makes it fit a little better, maybe? No? Okay, yeah, that's better. That's easier. Seems to me that this bit's going to eat into that bit, but sure, it's all good. Tighten both screws. This assembly can be reinforced with a little glue. What? Although it doesn't actually tell you what glue. That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? 2 iron screws. You're going to tell people just to randomly stick things together with glue. You should really tell them which glue. Because who knows the best way to glue 2 bits of metal together. And also, which bit would you glue? Where are you gluing the screws? Where are you... Honestly, it's not very helpful, is it? 2 iron screws. That's 1 screw and another screw. Put these 2 pieces together, then just apply some glue. Where? Oh, hang on. Oil. Which bit do you want me to glue? I'm not obviously going to glue anything, but yes. I mean, I'm going to be brutally honest. When I've built this thing, it's going to be put into a pose and then never touched again. So, and because I don't have a base for it, that'll probably be a basic standing pose or a superhero landing pose, perhaps, or something like that. You know. So I'm not really fussed about playing with it and posing it left, right and centre, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Put these in super tight. See, this is metal screws going through metal into metal shafts. They ain't going to break ever. And that actually works quite nicely. I take it back. And it was only when I started building the other leg, you know, that I started to get a vibe for how big this thing's going to be, because... And it's really weird when I was building this, I'm thinking, how the hell, this leg makes no sense. But it does start when it comes together. But I didn't really, even when the arms were like that long, I didn't get a feel for the size of this thing until I built the other leg. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be quite significant. This is going to be rather impressive. Right. Foots. Falling over. We need... take the right foot, the final assembly. I'll take the instep thing off. Final assembly from issue 54. Remove the instep protector, which I've just done. Place the upper structure of the foot inside the shin guard set. Slot into posizione. That goes there like that, you see. Slotting now, sir. Slot. Oh yeah. Oh yes. But now I've got to do it and turn the page. It's like trying to play the piano with both hands and turn the page. Place the inner support plate for the leg inside the shin guard. The good thing is I don't remember any of this, which is brilliant because it's all like brand new. You're experiencing it as I am, but I had a better camera angle when I was doing it for myself. So this now needs to go like that way, so that goes on top somehow. Quite tricky. That goes in there like what now? Wait a minute. I see that goes on there, that's on there. It's all heavy metal stuff. There we go, that goes in there. And I want 3 EM screws, and I've got to take my hand off it to get 3 EM screws out. God damn it. EM screws. I do remember, I didn't like assembling the arms. I found this arm assembly not frustrating, but not as enjoyable. When I built the leg, I do remember building the other leg and it was like, this is really nice. It went together really well. I had no issues with it. And it looked really good when it was finished. Like, oh, that's a good leg. That's a fine gam. The lid on me oil's closed. Everything's against me. Gosh darn it. Right. Do. there. And then I'll tighten these up again when I've gone round, when I've got all three in. Apologies as you see in the back of my hand, but trust me, you don't really want to watch this as a tutorial guide. It's nothing of the sort. Any questions from you guys watching? Anything you want me to talk about, please? For the love of dog. I'm spent. I've not done anything for the last week apart from build lots of Horus Heresy things and look after Mama Fox. I can't really report any interesting news. Only one thing I can report is that my local swarthy Turkish takeaway, who do a delightful burger but that's unfortunately too small, I've discovered a wonderful solution to make sure I'm not disappointed by their tiny burgers, and that is when I order them, to order two. It seemed to be the correct thing to do. And indeed it was. It's getting quite heavy now. I know you can't feel it, but... now, we've done that bit. Find the inner circuits. Inner circuits. And place the assembly over the inner support plate. Secure it with 3 AM... I'll get my screws ready this time. 3 AM screws. Do 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 do. Three AM screws. So that goes on there, like that, you see. Just slots into place. Lovely jubbly. 1, 2, and there we go, 3. Yeah, and these are metal screws again, so into metal. Does make me wonder, all this stuff in here, where does the actual leg go? If you were wearing this suit, where would you actually put the leg? If you're making a real Iron Man suit, it's like there's so much going on. How skinny would your leg have to be to actually fit between all the gubbins and know-whats? I'll tighten these up properly in a minute. Oops, dropping. Now I'm thinking about the filthy burger from a swarthy takeaway. Oh, yeah, they're really nice burgers, but they're really small, so I'd just buy 2. And a portion of peri-peri chips, some hash browns and onion rings. Yeah, and I wonder why my blood pressure is so bad. Yeah, I'm on blood pressure meds. Can you imagine why? I can't imagine why. That's in there. The little click of the screwdriver bouncing, which tells me it's in tightly as it's going to go. A little bit of oil always helps. I do like these with a bit of oil. Next, add the interior mechanisms. I've got to do it. I've got to stand up. Mechanisms. Add the interior mechanisms. These are 4 identical pieces which push into the inner circuit board with gentle pressure. Now, I remember this. I think this is where I had to glue one of these in. And then, or get one in and take it out again, and it got scraped, and that's why I had to have the silver Sharpie, because it got scraped. Oh no, it wasn't these bits, it was the other bit. Right, so they go this way. They've got a dirty great big mould line all the way down the side, but we're not going to worry about that. This is not a model making stream after all. This is Partworks. So this needs to go in that way. So these just push in very tightly. And you have to make sure you do get these in all the way, because they're exceptionally tight, and if you don't get them in properly, your armour later on won't sit down properly. So make sure they're going all the way. I do recommend, if you need to, some big girly pushes, some like proper big girl pushes, if you've got a pair of pliers with rubber grips on the handles, not on the actual plier part, if you've got a pair of pliers with like the rubber hand grip, they can be quite good for pushing things down without scratching them or breaking them. Or rubberized handles, I should say. Or you can just push them in with your big man hand. There's always one that don't want to cooperate quite as much. Right, there we go. And I shall get my pliers with the big squishy handles. They'll do. Just to push them down a little bit, because I can rest it like that and just push. There we go. There we go, lovely. A little bit of doohickeys and pistons, all asking and begging to be weathered up, but then again, it depends how dirty you want to make this if you're doing an after battle Iron Man suit. Right, so that is then this issue. We're up to there so far. I do like the fact they give you this, once you've done the instructions, they give you a quick breakdown of what you've actually done, so if you're not sure, you can just quickly check and see that you've done it all. Quite good, that. Also helps them waste a page, but there you go. I'm starting to get a feel for how big this thing is. Look at that, it's gorgeous, and it is beautiful, beautiful paint job. But I can confirm that the gold plastic and the silver plastic are perfect matches for Uniposca silver and gold pens. If you do any scratching, if you scratch any of your armour by mistake, they are a perfect match. That is an MA, or is it an AM? Could be an AM. Got a slot for AM screws? Yeah, there we go, put them in there. I'll just do some, I'll police my police my screws. Do EM, I've got a slot for EM screw, yes. Do you know, I have to thank the Halo novelizations, The Fall of Reach, and, you know, Halo, the books that came out when the game came out. There's an NP screw there. We've got a slot for NP. 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 I thought I did have. Obviously not. Oh, we've got another sachet for NP there, aren't they? I have to thank those books for teaching me the word and the use of the word police, as in to police something. Because several times in those books it says, you know, somebody was charged with policing the weapons, as in they've just finished a fight and then somebody has to go and police the weapons by picking up the weapons and, you know, checking for ammo and stuff. And it was like, oh, I like it. So, like, organising and corralling things is policing. I quite like that. I'll have to use that word. Right, issue 61. Convertible armour. Don't come near me. In free fall, Tony Stark fugitive. The storied history of this chap, hasn't he? All the build bits. Riri Williams and Ironheart. Oh, is this who's going to take over Iron Man now that Tony Stark's dead in the movies? Spoilers, sorry. It's Ironheart, isn't it? Do. I don't really know much about it. Right, so let's get on where we are. So, this one has only 3 components. And one of them, I think, was a faff. One of these little pistons was a faff, and I think this is where I had to use some silver pen cleanup duty, but we'll see how this one goes. So we have internal leg mechanism, and internal leg mechanism. I like the way they specifically name them with the same name. So, have the patient on the table. There we go. No way to make that stand up. It says, place mechanism 61A. I've got to look them up now, haven't I? 61A is that one. Because they're all just called internal leg mechanism. It only fits in one position with a thicker pin facing... That's the wrong one. Facing upward. So it goes that way. You're a thicker pin. All I can think about right now is burgers. Every time I do a stream... Do you know, I blame all you guys, not just patrons and channel members, but all of my supporters for my blood pressure. I really do. Because every time I do a live stream, it somehow ends up with me really wanting like pizza or burger or something unhealthy. And it's just totally not my fault. This is a pain to get in now because it's got to go underneath the thing, whilst at the same time being in the way of the thing. It's like a tardigrade. I don't know. It's like a 2-legged tardigrade, this component. There we go. Ooh, it's a very tight fit. You have to kind of really finagle it to go under that bit because it really does not want to, and it's incredibly at risk of snapping the little pegs. That was hard. 61. Where we are? 61B. The pin is semicircular and will only fit in one position. Good. That's idiot-proof. I can't possibly mess that up. I could possibly mess that up, especially if he's my left-handed. Being right-handed, that's a bit of a dumb thing to do. This goes in there, and again it's a really weird fit because it fit flush with the last piece. So you have to get it in at the right angle. That's quite loose actually, that bit, never mind. It's not going to fall out. Now this bit is the bit I had trouble with. The pin with the large diameter goes at the top, so it goes in the goes in that way. So it should go in this way. And I had a devil of a time getting the damn thing to go in on the last leg. This top pin, this one's gone in perfectly. That's good, I like that. When I did the other leg, the top pin wouldn't go in all the way, it just wouldn't sit flush. So I had to get my pliers to squish it down, and of course I scraped the paint off. So if, when you're doing this, if you have any problems, oh, it could just fall out of course. If you have any problems, and you do end up scraping the paint, or if you want to get rid of that dirty grey nub on the end of it, it's always another thing, just get yourself a Uniposca silver pen. It's not exactly the same, or if you've got some silver paint, you'll be fine. It's about the right colour. Or if you're using paint, Stormhost Silver from Citadel will be about the right colour. You could, if you wanted to, put a little touch of glue in there. You'd have to make sure you scrape the silver paint off if you want to glue that in, because it's quite loose. You'd have to scrape the silver paint off the contact points, and you'd have to use specifically ABS glue or the Deluxe all-purpose any plastic glue, because these are ABS, I think, and normal plastic cement won't necessarily work on them. There you go. Or super glue, of course, if you wanted to. CA glue. But that went a lot better. That one, the other one just didn't fit at all. The other one felt like the pins just didn't want to go into place. That was issue 61. So I had to get the pliers out, which is never a good thing. Anti-Squirrel Girl. Wait, what? Now this I'm feeling something for. I'm liking this. Now I know Squirrel Girl. I've never read it in the comics, but how did Squirrel Girl get involved in that? Okay, now I'm intrigued. Rescue, more than just a substitute. Starting in 2009, Virginia Pepper Potts was no longer limited to the role of Tony Stark's friend, secretary or love interest. She became a superhero in her own right. Rescue. Not a very good name. Some fiddly bits. And then we have Ultron, Dedipus in Adamantium. It's hard to say. Wait, so where's this? Oh, there we go. Anti-Squirrel Girl, Metal and Nuts. As he's demonstrated on many occasions, says here, Tony Stark has no problem at all in designing armour with the specific goal of defeating one of his superhero colleagues, just in case one day he has to go up against them. Wait, he had to fight Squirrel... Oh, there's... Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel Universe. I really probably should read Squirrel Girl. I would actually quite like to read Squirrel Girl. Things that don't take themselves seriously, those I can get into. Okay, that does look quite funny. She throws Captain America's shield at the Anti-Squirrel Girl armour, and he's like, well, actually, Cap and I we've fought several times. We're working on our communication skills. I like that. I might have to read some Squirrel Girl. Anybody out there read Squirrel Girl? Tell me if it's good. I like light-hearted, silly stuff. That's why I like the Marvel movie. I like the comedy in the MCU movies. I don't like the serious ones that came before, you know, like the Fantastic Four and stuff. When they're all serious, and the X-Men, boring. Just bored me relentlessly silly. Because they were too serious. I didn't like the comics, so... But the MCU stuff, starting with Iron Man, absolutely brilliant. The humour made them good for me. Right, parts. This is the last one. Wow, we've polished off 3 boxes already. I thought this might happen. Now it is actually 7 o'clock, so I'm an hour early. We'll have finished this momentarily. Means I can go on my dinner faster. Woo! I'm not quite as apprehensive doing Iron Man on live stream as I am doing the Dodge, because the Iron Man is smaller in smaller bits, and I know there's a lot of very quick assembly parts, whereas the Dodge I'm not really too sure, although it's the torso coming up after we've done this leg, and that's going to be quite big. So right, let's get these bits done. So we have some screwage, EM screws, and that's an empty bit. Oh no. Okay, if you get issue 62. That looks like you've got an empty bag. It is not. There's little tiny plastic washers in there. Do not throw those away. Do not throw it away thinking it's an empty screw bag. Right. Start by placing the heel to the inner side of the rear lower leg armour. That's a gorgeous piece. For some reason it makes me think of like some sort of like gothic corset. I don't quite know why. It's metal, it's not plastic. We'll put the leg over there for the moment. You go over there, leg. Right, so what was I doing? Oh yes. Or was it this one that didn't fit very well? Right, so that, we need 2 screws first. 62A EM screws. Let's get the screws ready first. How much time would you estimate you spent on the Bandai Perfect Grade Millennium Falcons you made, says Jeff? Not that long, because it's a quick build. Well, it's an easy build. And paint job wise, I'm going to be honest with you, in terms of easy paint jobs, 2 of the easiest things you'll ever paint are the Millennium Falcon and an Imperial Knight. Or 2 of the easiest things that you'll ever paint that look like they're not easy. The Millennium Falcon is just quite possibly the easiest paint job you'll ever do. Because it really is. The only complicated bit of sort of skill you need is the initial paint job. Just to get some nice pre-shading, and that's not that hard. So really, you spend a bit of time doing your pre-shading. And once you've done that, it's just streaking and dot filter, and that's kind of it. The figures take a bit longer, obviously, because you've got to paint the figures, and because it's all basically just one colour, it's a doddle. So probably that Falcon, I'd say maybe, I don't know. I mean, it took me longer to build it because I live streamed it, so I'd have to go back and look at all the live streams, but I'm probably looking at about 50 or 60 hours maybe, tops. Maybe less than that. I mean, I don't really know. I didn't put any oil on those, never mind. I don't really know. I was filming it. I mean, the difficulty is when you're filming something, it takes a lot longer, so if I was just building one for myself, I could probably do it in a couple of days. But not a couple of days, maybe 3 or 4 days of solid graft. I mean, in the past, I painted a fine moulds Falcon in about 3 days, using pretty much the same methods. So painting the thing is not a long job. Of course, building the fine moulds Falcon took about 2 days. So I don't know really. If you do it by days and not hours, I don't know. I could probably build and paint one within a week if I was just working on it solid. If that. Again, it's just one of the simplest paint jobs. The big delaying thing with the Falcon is, as with any enamels and oils, it's doing a quick enamel streaking coat and then having to wait for a day or 2 for it to fully dry. Oh, hang on, no. Having said that, I forgot about the decals. The decals did take forever. So yeah, the decals we've just finished. Oh wow. Oh no, we haven't. Oh, I thought we'd finished then. Nope, not yet. Yeah, the decals took forever. So actually, I'd maybe say up to 100 hours. Maybe at most. At most. I am absolutely rubbish at guessing how long I've spent doing something. Right. So fit this on the back of the leg. Now this gets a bit tricky if I remember rightly. What was that? That was a. What was that screw? An EM screw. Was I supposed to do 3 screws on that? Where did I get 3 EM screws out? Don't know why I got 3 out. Let's. Guess I need 2 EM screws anyway. EM screws even. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Very most, I'd say about 100 hours, but I'd probably say less than that. That's a bit conservative, perhaps. I mean, if I'm, that's not very conservative, you know what I mean. And I've got to be careful of these little clear rings now. I don't want to lose them, because if they come off that little black mat, I will have no way of finding them ever. Right, so this needs to go into the back of the leg here. We have here in the leg department these holes here and this hole here that are in the metal sub-assembly. You can't see because it's not on camera because I'm a dingus. I need to get this bit on here. And it's not as simple as it looks, except... Oh, it was. He keeps doing this to me. He keeps making me out to be a liar. This leg, for some reason... Like, when I made the first arm, it was tricky. When I made the second arm, it went together much better. When I made the first leg, there were some tricky bits. It's really weird. Now, this is where we need the little plastic rings, because... Got the little bit there for the screw. I don't know why we need a washer here, but they tell us we need one. It's a friction disc. Oh, it's to make it more frictiony, I guess. Friction disc in there. EM screw, a bit of oil, of course, because it's going into metal. Proper screwdriver. Friction disc. Where's my screwdriver? I put it down. It's there in front of me, you spoon. For some reason, the phrase friction disc in my head is going round at the, but to the tune of Girls on Film. I don't know why. My brain scares me sometimes. It scared me last night. I had this dream last night, right? This is going to be gross. If you don't want to listen to this, right, skip about 2 minutes. But I had this dream last night, right, and it was about a bogey. For those who maybe don't live in the UK, bogey is what you pick out your nose, like a nose goblin. For some reason in the dream, I was sat there in the living room in my house, and there was other people in the room. And I went to, like, pick a bogey out of my nose. I don't know why. I don't normally do that in polite company. And this bogey turned out to be about like a mile long and really resisting the urge to come out. And I had to learn, like, when I realised I was kind of pulling like a kilometre of bogey out my nose, I'm like, okay, I need to kind of hide this. And I shot upstairs and trying to get it out. It's very weird. And then I woke up and I'm like, what? Very weird dream. Now here's a dream I used to have as a kid. Here's a question for you. Had anybody else ever used to have this dream? It's something I had as a kid, but then I never did as an adult. Or very, very rarely. A dream where I'll have like, I'll feel like there's a hair in my mouth or a hair in my throat. Like sometimes you get like a hair in your mouth and you can feel it. Or if you've eaten fish, you get a very fine fish bone. And I'll pull it out of my mouth, but then I'll be like, and I'll pull it and it'll be like this big long string or hair like coming from the back of my throat. I used to get that a lot as a kid. And you're like pulling like a really long string out and there'd be a fur ball on it. I don't know what that was about, but I used to get it all the time, that dream as a kid. Not so much as an adult. But anybody else ever have that dream? Am I weirding everybody, all of you out right now? Are you all feeling really gross and icky? Good, my work here is done. Where are we? Right, so that's that issue done. That is issue 62, which means if I put the whatever part of the foot that is guard on it again, we have not yet finished, but we have largely assembled the right leg. I've already bumped the left leg, that's already been done. So we have a nice gam that you can almost get on camera there. Nice bit of turny to the knee, which I don't trust quite yet because it's a bit wibbly wobbly plastic. You've got the nice ankle joint there with a minimal movement, but it moves. You've got the little instep guard there. That this doesn't actually move at all. It barely moves, and I'm not quite sure of the point of that because it barely moves. And I wouldn't recommend doing that because it's just going to scrape the paint off there. And this piece on the back, which is my favourite bit, it just like, you've got that bit there, and then it just does that. Look. Oh, that's so nice. Such a nice mechanism. Plus, that looks like a bit of a what do I call it? A corset. Very nice. Oops. So there you go. I like that mechanism. That's really nice. But it does make you wonder where the actual leg goes because it's like that wide. Where's his leg go, Mum? I don't know. Yes. But that is then issue 62, which means I am up to date with Ron Man's. We've got a whole mess of crap I've now got to wrap up and put in tissue and find little Ziploc bags for until the next issue. That's the only pain when you get loads of bits left over. I've got to put them all in bags and store them in tissue so they don't get messed up. So, yeah, a bit of a pain. So I shall go and put all this away. Let me just put these screws away. That's an EM screw. Put it in the EM slot. Hang on. There we go. And I'll keep that little plastic thing just in case. You never know. You never know. Now, I do recommend if you're doing partworks, I can't actually see that. Let me just get my tweezers. I can't see what I'm putting in where. Oh, it's in the bag. I somehow managed to get it in. Okay. If you are doing Partworks, I do recommend you get yourself something like that, because the golden rule of Partworks is whenever you finish each step, each issue, do not, because you'll always have a couple of spare screws if it's a good partwork, do not, under any circumstances, ever throw the screws and things either into one big pile or away, or anything left over. I've got them all divided out into different screws, purely because, and this happened a lot on the Dodge, when I've been doing the Dodge Charger, for some reason CM screws seem to be prone to failure, as in you'll get a batch of CM screws and like in a bag, and like one of them won't be quite the right size, or it won't really have a good thread on it. Seems to mostly be CM screws. But what I can do is, if a screw's just not going in, it's not seating down, or it's just not biting, I'll just get rid of it and I'll go and get a spare one, because I've got millions of spare ones in my little tray for my Dodge. So whenever you finish an issue, don't throw the screws away, and don't put them in a big pile, because then you won't know what screw's what. Keep them all organised, and then if you do find that if you've got a screw that's not properly threaded, or you've just sheared it, or for some reason it's not seating in, go and get another one. And I've also found, especially on the Dodge, sometimes when a CM screw just won't sit down properly, it'll go in but it'll just keep spinning. What I've done is I've got rid of it, and I've got a slightly bigger screw, like one of the other screws that's about the same length but slightly bigger, or maybe the same diameter but slightly longer, and just use that instead. And I've done that a few times. I've had to replace a CM screw with something else, because sometimes it's not quite a flush fit. So do get yourself some sort of tidy box. Available on my Amazon store, links in the description below the video. Not saying that for you guys, patrons, I'm saying that for the benefit of people watching this afterwards, of course. Right, so that's us up to date. We built a leg. I shall go and store all this away, and I shall let another few packs of issues build up. So in another 2 or 3 months, we'll do another one of these. We're in a carrot. Look at that paint job, it's gorgeous. But I mean, when I did that other leg, I realised how big this thing's going to be, because you can have the hip there, and it's as long as, that's basically from my wrist to my elbow. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. So it's going to be big, and this is quite heavy, so I don't think how much the actual figure's going to weigh. Also, I've got no idea where I'm going to put it, but never mind. But that's going to do us. So thank you very much. I will show you one other quick thing. As you know, I've been working on the Horus Heresy set to get it all built and painted and stuck on eBay. I've not finished it yet, but I thought I'd show you. I've almost finished the Spartan assault tank. Almost. Now the tracks aren't glued on. These are loosely placed in place, but I've got them glued together, like this bit and that bit glued together, so I can pull it off. But it will stay in place, and it just means that I can paint that, and I can do my silver bit down the middle where the wheels keep the tracks clean. I can do my weathering and stuff, and then when it comes to assembly, I can just pop it back on. And because it's only lightly super glued, I've still got some bend in it. I can bend it around the corners. So I've just literally just glued them into like 3 or 4 different things, just so I can have them there. But it means I can take them off and paint them, and then when I've come to assemble it, I can just do a few touches of, say, super glue or normal glue and get all the tracks on. But yeah, it's a meaty looking tank, isn't it? It's quite big. I'm quite impressed with it. It's quite a nice build, though. I didn't enjoy doing the last cannons. That wasn't fun. They're not nice to clean up. But other than that, there's a few bits where I've had to, I left a couple of gaps, like on the hull, where I had to put a bit of plastic card and some rivets just to hide little tiny gaps, just because I couldn't be bothered filling them. It does go together beautifully. The only bits I've had to hide is here, but that's because when I glued it all together and taped it to hold it in place, I didn't quite have those bits in contact, so they dried, not quite touching. I really must get some clamps. So that's my fault. And under here, you'll see, take the guns off, you'll see underneath here I've got these little plastic strips on the side. I've got rivets on these as well to make it blend in. I've got little strips of plastic there. That's purely because there's a panel gap here that goes down the side and then runs underneath. I've used sprue glue to fill it in there, but on this bit I kind of forgot, and I was like, oh, I can't be bothered waiting another few hours for sprue glue, so I just put a piece of plastic card and rivets to hide that little gap. And here there was just an unseemly bit of messy gap, a little tiny gap that I wanted to hide, and I didn't want to fill it in. So, and luckily, because it's covered in rivets, of course, I've got the option then of hiding things with little plates of plastic and rivets. So they fit perfectly, no one will ever know. And yeah, they look like part of the track, part of the tank itself. So I thought, rather than sit there and put sprue glue on and wait for it 12 hours to dry and then come and clean just for a little tiny panel line, I'll just put a bit of plastic card So there, if it was Eldar, that wouldn't work, but because it's all made of rivets and strips of metal, yeah, I can get away with that. So yeah, loving this. So anyway, once this is finished, once I finish building this, then I can... all I've got to do then is put all the accessories on the Space Marines, on the Mark 6 Marines, which is what I'll be doing tomorrow. And then once I've done that, I can start with the painting then, if I can get this thing to go on. I can crack on with the painty. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to try and streamline the whole process as much as I can, because I need to get this on eBay. So that's going to do it for today, but this will carry on with the Warhammer stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow will be, it's not Cyberpunk, I'm going to be sticking all the little accessories on my Mark 6 Marines. So join me at the bench tomorrow, 5 o'clock, when I'll carry on doing all that knife safety. And on Sunday, of course, it's going to be Warhammer Sunday with me and Colin. And we'll be cracking on with our Lehman Rust tanks. I think we're just putting the fan, I think we're still doing the finishing touches, I think. I'm not sure if we're ready for painting, actually, yet. If we are, I better go and do some priming, hadn't I? I think... I can't remember now. I'm not sure. But yes, so either we'll do that, if we finish building them, we'll just do something else and we'll prime them and then do that the next week. But I'm back on Sunday for that again at 5 PM on Sunday. And don't forget, of course, Colin's back. Colin, my good buddy from Festa 67's workshop, is back on Sunday at 12:30 with the Sunday brunch. And then he'll be joining me on the afternoon Warhammer Sunday stream. So, swig of water. I shall see you all tomorrow, hopefully, for I'm talking rubbish now. See you all tomorrow for more Warhammer stuff. Big thank you, of course, if you're watching this live. I know I don't get lots of viewers when I do these live bits for patrons, but it's hard, man. You've only got a small audience and not all of them around. But if you have watched and you are a patron or a channel member, thank you very much. I cannot thank you enough. I'll put that away. Cannot thank you enough for your support, continued. Whether it's £1 a month or £10 a month or whatever you support me on the membership or the Patreon. I can't thank you enough. You literally make it possible for me to do this as a living, to keep this channel going, and you allow me to stay at home where I can do all this and also look after Mama Fox 24/7. So I can't thank you enough. You're a lifesaver. You really are lifesavers. I can't put it into words. So big, massive thank you for your support, your continued support. It means a lot more to me than I can ever put into words and elucidate. So if I sound like I'm not grateful, I really am. I'm just rubbish at expressing stuff like that. But big, massive thank you to all of you. If you're watching this non-live and you're not a Patreon channel member, then if you want to watch these streams live, these Partwork streams live, and join in the live chat, then please do consider becoming one. You can go to patreon.com/modelmakingcrew, become a patron, or you can click on the join button underneath any one of my videos or this live stream and become a channel member. Either way, you get access to things like this. You get access to the live 24/7 Zoom hangout that's offline but live. And the Facebook chat and all that. So do consider becoming one of those. But until then, I shall say thank you massively to my patrons and members. I shall say that very slowly just while I press some buttons because I have to turn around. Thank you massively to all of you. Take care of yourselves. I shall see you all tomorrow for the more Warhammer stuff for tomorrow afternoon. But until then, take care of yourselves. Thank you all very much. Oh, don't forget, somebody said something tonight. See you all later tonight, Edward Leonard, because somebody's streaming what's happening tonight. Something. I've forgotten. There's probably something happening tonight. I don't know. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome, like you already are. And until next time, adios, amoebas.